Okay, so San Francisco's tourism is so down bad, and we're also seeing most of the streets being pretty empty. Now, if you check out what I'm talking about here, we're gonna go north of San Francisco. This is gonna be like the good part of town, like Fisherman's Wharf. This area is gonna be your tourist hotspot, right? The hotels here also go for a pretty penny as well. You also have several attractions like, Crab House at Pier 39. You also have pretty cool architecture. Obviously, you're near the water. There's also really cool yachts, boats. And if you go to a little bit to the left, you also have like some pretty cool parks. This is going to be your tourist destination. But let me tell you guys something. It is emptier than ever before. Now, even some of you commenters in the comment section have said that Pier 39, you've been there in the past few days. And yeah, there's people, but there's so little people that it really shocks you because this is the summertime. This is supposed to win international tourism and domestic tourism is all in San Francisco. And this is like the hot tourist destination. And there's barely anyone here, right? And there's even like photos that have surged up with like empty streets, empty transportation. Look at how empty these streets are. There's barely any people. Yeah, sure, occasionally you see like a cluster of like 3 or 5 people, but this is straight up downtown San Francisco being completely empty, right? This is supposed to be the place where it's like jam packed, shoulder to shoulder people, but the sidewalks are like empty, guys. There's nobody in the sidewalks. Most of the office workers aren't coming back. The transit centers in San Francisco are completely empty. The Bay Area rapid transit, yeah, it barely has any people on it. I mean, downtown San Francisco lost what? Almost 200,000 office workers. And if you just go on Google Maps, as simple as this, it shows you that there's no tourist, nobody working here. And this Google Street View was filmed on January 2022. Where is everyone? No one's here. Not a single soul is here. And this really shows you how bad San Francisco is truly deteriorating at this point. And people will joke, oh, it's going to be the Detroit 2.0. I guarantee you in the next few years, it's going to be Detroit 2.0. There's nobody here. This is the crazy part. And what's even worse is when crime does happen, the city almost never does anything. There's barely any action. This is why, if you look at the tourism industry, it is super duper bad. Like I said before, San Francisco hotels are begging the city for tourists to come. San Francisco is already launching a $6 million ad campaign, but we don't want an ad campaign. We just want you to clean up the streets so people can actually come here. Look at how it's affecting business. The tourists are gone. The business and restaurants are all closed. This is going to be the policies of San Francisco. Now, I'm sure there's going to be guys out there saying, oh, they get what they voted for. And yeah, they really did. But remember, a lot of business owners don't want this to happen at all, right? So a lot of business owners are simply leaving. They're packing in the bags for Las Vegas. There might be going to other parts of the Bay Area or other parts of California. But a lot of them are just kind of sick of the whole California situation. It's a pretty poor place to live right now. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. The beach areas, the tourism hotspots. Where is everyone? It's just completely empty. San Francisco streets are absolutely disgusting. Battered by remote work. And not just that. I think even with remote work, most of the office workers would come back if the city was completely clean and very safe. But the homeless situation is just simply growing out of control. There's homeless people everywhere in San Francisco now. Because originally, it was mostly dedicated to the Tenderloin district. This small area, which has been an open air drug market for decades, and they just, I guess, left it as an open air drug market for decades. Shows you that they really don't care. But that was during a time when there were like a lot of people in San Francisco, and that was just mostly dedicated to this area. There were still a lot of office workers and restaurants and bars were willing to put up with the craziness because business was so good. But now with very, very lacking business, and like I said before, 6 digits of office workers not coming back, these bars and clubs, they don't want to put up with this anymore. If you're not making any money and you're constantly getting robbed and crazy stuff is always happening, why would you ever live here, right? Oh, by the way, Oakland is even worse. If you go across the San Francisco-Oakland Bridge, it's even worse, guys. Like, you got stores being robbed like at least twice a month over there. It's crazy. And if you look at some of these pictures, it just shows you, it's getting worse and worse for San Francisco and nothing's being changed. And San Francisco is the only place in the US, guys. I promise you, it's probably the only place in the US where freaking Walgreens has to put chains on freezers, has shoplifters target the stores 20 times a day. That is crazy. Like, people just walk into Walgreens like it's their home, grab like a couple frozen pizzas, and just walk out. This is why a lot of other stores like Uniqlo are leaving, Old Navy are leaving. You even have Will and Sonoma, they're leaving. And every single one of those guys say the same thing. There's very low foot traffic, and the street conditions are pretty poor. Now, they usually don't elaborate beyond that, but let me just tell you guys straight up. It's because there's just so many homeless people everywhere, so many people doing drugs, so many people who need help, and nothing's being done, right? Guys, I don't even like San Diego, but at least San Diego is doing something for their city, right? San Diego actually banned homeless encampments in many parts of the city and only allows tents in designated areas. So San Diego practically just saved their downtown area, surprisingly. And San Diego's tourism is still very, very high, whereas San Francisco's tourism is very, very low. And the Tenderloin District is getting worse and worse because the Civic Center used to be okay, the Twitter HQ, but now the Twitter area is actually having a massive growing homeless problem, and people are very scared to walk out of their apartments and condos at night to party. Plus, there's nobody out. Check out some of the night pictures and night videos of San Francisco. It's completely empty. It's like a ghost town. It's actually pretty freaky when it's supposed to be packed everywhere in San Francisco because it's not even that big of a city. And with the office workers here, you easily reach almost close to 1 million population in this tiny area. And usually people start, having fun and stuff. But look at this. Even the Google Street View is pretty much roasting San Francisco streets. How empty this is. It's pretty bad. And Californians are pretty scared of this increase in crime. Oakland is by far the fastest increase in my opinion. You also have very, very fast increase in places like San Jose and obviously San Francisco. Luxury stores are usually boarded up. You have the Gucci store being robbed. And also a designer glass store that's been robbed 6 times in the past 6 months. It is pretty bad to be in the city and operate as a business owner. And a lot of these business owners are leaving. Owners abandon San Francisco hotels. City begs for tourism to return. And these hotel owners are so mad. Hundreds of millions of dollars gone. And also, half of the homeless residents in San Francisco refuse shelters anyway. And I guess you just sleep on the streets. This is absolutely insane. I've never seen a city like this. I mean, one of the things with the city is they're so indecisive and the laws are so lax that people could just do anything they want. I mean, when there's barely any punishment, sometimes no punishment for shoplifting and robbery, of course, someone would probably do it several times. Like, why be in a shelter when we could just, I guess, sleep on the streets and maybe jump to Walgreens and grab a snack? Guys, a lot of these people need help. The city is so indecisive. They're just kicking the can down the street every single day. City kind of sucks overall. Now, I've been to San Francisco pre-pandemic. It was honestly a pretty fantastic place. I have some pretty fond memories of it. And it was pretty crappy back then, but at least it was kind of compact in one area. But now it's spread out. The Mission District is also taking massive hits. If you guys don't know, the Mission District is kind of a place where it's really hip. It's really cool. Bars, clubs, nice condos, lots of restaurants here are now closing. And this shows you that San Francisco is getting worse and worse by the day.